What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Jon Jones had high praise for Nate Diaz and pushed back hard against the idea that Nate is some kind of gangster. The two recently worked together as coaches on Aleph Reality, a show often compared to a Russian version of The Ultimate Fighter. According to Jon, spending that much time around Nate gave him a clear picture of who he really is, and it is nothing like the image some fans try to push. Jon explained that Nate is not a gangster at all. In his words, Nate is a professional athlete first and foremost. He is also a father, a coach, and a business owner. Jon described him as an entrepreneur and a leader who employs a lot of people and takes responsibility seriously. He acknowledged that Nate has a rough edge and does not hide his personality, but said that those surface traits confuse people who do not actually know him. Jon joked that yes, Nate smokes weed, and yes, he might flip someone the middle finger if the moment calls for it. However, he stressed that these things do not make someone a gangster. To Jon, Nate is far from that label and is actually a really good guy when you strip away the myths and internet narratives. He emphasized that Nate's confidence and authenticity often get misread as something darker than it really is. Jon also touched on a tense situation that happened during filming and admitted it could have gone badly if cameras were not around. He suggested that if things had unfolded behind closed doors, the outcome might have been ugly. Even so, he made it clear that the respect he has for Nate never changed. In closing, Jon said that people love to compare fighters and throw out names like Khabib, but those conversations miss the point. For him, Nate Diaz is simply a real, accomplished man who lives openly, stands by who he is, and deserves respect, not labels. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Rampage Jackson shared his honest thoughts on the eye poke incident involving Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, saying he personally would have continued fighting if he were in Aspinall's position. Rampage explained that when he watched the moment back, he felt the eye poke was intentional. In his view, you can see it clearly, and he believes it was done on purpose as part of a strategy, calling it a real game changer in a fight. Rampage broke down why an eye poke can completely shift momentum. Once you get poked clean in the eye, he said, that becomes the weakest part of your body. From that moment on, you are no longer fighting freely. Instead, you are on the defensive, constantly aware of that injury. It stays in the back of your mind, and every time your opponent reaches forward, even slightly, it messes with your focus. According to Rampage, that alone already gives the other guy a big advantage. Despite those thoughts, Rampage made it clear that he understands Aspinall's decision. He said that, realistically, Tom did the right thing, especially because the fight had championship stakes attached to it. Fighting for a belt changes everything, and protecting your long-term career has to matter. Rampage admitted that from a smart and professional standpoint, Aspinall made the correct call. However, Rampage also emphasized that he comes from a different era of fighters. He said that if he felt he could still see and physically continue, he would have kept going. Even acknowledging the risks, he believes he would have pushed through and carried on with the fight. That mindset, he said, is just part of who he is. Rampage described himself as more of an entertainer at heart. Even when a title is on the line, his instinct is to give the fans a show. He admitted he does not fully know why he is wired that way, but entertaining people has always mattered to him. While he respects Aspinall's decision and agrees it was the smart move, Rampage made it clear that his own approach would have been driven by toughness, pride, and a desire to keep the fight going for the audience. Moving on to another news, Tim Welch explained why Sean O'Malley wore a face mask during his face-off with Song Yadong. Welch appeared on the Overdogs podcast alongside Mike Perry and addressed the speculation surrounding Sean's appearance. Many fans wondered if the mask was meant to send a hidden message or project a certain mindset heading into the matchup. Tim shut down the idea that it was some kind of intimidation tactic or symbolic move. He said there was no deeper meaning behind it, no statement about being locked in or having a dog mentality. According to Welch, Sean was not trying to play mind games or present himself as someone about to rob a bank and take everything from his opponent. Instead, the explanation was much simpler and far more practical. Welch shared that Sean was feeling a bit under the weather around that time. Because of that, he believed wearing a mask was just the respectful thing to do. He did not want to risk getting Song Yadong sick during the face-off. Tim even joked that if Sean were feeling petty, he could have coughed right in his opponent's face. But that was never the intention. The mask, he explained, was more about being considerate than about theatrics. There was also some light humor during the discussion, with Welch laughing off online theories and wild speculation. He said people tend to overthink these moments, reading far too much into small details. In reality, Sean was simply trying to be cautious and polite, especially given the circumstances. Welch emphasized that Sean is not the type to hide behind symbolism at a face-off. When he wants to send a message, he does it clearly inside the cage. Outside of it, especially during formal events, he is comfortable just being himself. Wearing the mask had nothing to do with fear, mystery, or mental warfare. In the end, Tim summed it up by saying Sean was just being nice. There was no secret strategy, no coded message, and no dramatic intent. It was simply a case of a fighter feeling slightly unwell and choosing not to pass that on to someone else. Moving on to another news. Ray Longo shared his honest assessment of Merab's performance against Petr, saying he felt Merab looked a bit flatter than usual. Longo explained that the context around the fight may have played a role. Had Merab won at UFC 323, it would have marked his fourth bantamweight title defense in a single year, an incredibly demanding schedule for any fighter. According to Longo, Merab is the type of athlete who is always going to do what Merab does. He does not like long breaks, and was clearly motivated by the idea of chasing that record. Longo said Merab was not interested in taking a month off because, if he had, he would never have gone for that achievement in the first place. From that perspective, Longo felt it was a cool and admirable thing to attempt. That said, with hindsight being what it is, Longo admitted the pace may have caught up with him slightly. He said, "It did look like Merab was a little flatter than normal, especially compared to his usual non-stop intensity. Physically, the body can only handle so much, and when you are constantly preparing for elite competition, small dips can show." Even so, Longo was quick to point out that mentally, Merab never looked defeated. He was always present, always engaged, and never checked out of the fight. Win or lose, Longo believes that mentality is what truly separates him from others. He referenced moments outside the cage as well, including a scene in an ambulance with Aljo, where Merab was laughing and taking everything in stride. For Longo, that ability to process pressure, pain, and disappointment is something special. Having been around countless fighters over the years, he said Merab stands out. His mindset, resilience, and emotional control are, in Longo's words, this absolutely phenomenal. Even on a night where he may not have been at his sharpest, Merab still showed why he is different from the rest. Moving on to another news, Henry Cejudo reflected on the moment Payton Talbott hit him with an inside trip during their fight at UFC 323, saying he doesn't believe that would have happened if he were still in his prime. Henry recalled the sequence with a mix of humor and confidence, emphasizing how solid his defense used to be. He joked about the idea of getting caught by an inside trip back in his peak days, saying it would have been impossible. According to him, 100% of that position would have been shut down instantly. Henry also spoke about the respect he has for Payton, acknowledging that the young fighter had clearly learned from watching him. Talbott himself admitted that he took some lessons from Henry's style, which Henry appreciated. Instead of seeing it as a threat, Henry viewed it as a compliment and a chance to help a fellow athlete grow. He recognized the potential in Payton, noting that with the right guidance and adjustments, he could become a world champion one day. Henry described inviting Payton to train with him for a few days, showing mutual respect and sharing knowledge. He emphasized that it wasn't about competition during that time, but about helping Talbott reach his full potential. Henry wanted to ensure that Payton could make the right adjustments in his game to beat top contenders and reach championship level. Their sessions were a mix of mentorship and camaraderie, highlighting Henry's belief in nurturing talent and passing on his experience. In closing, Henry praised Payton's humility and willingness to learn, saying it's rare to see young fighters with that mindset. Even after being caught with a move that would have been impossible in his prime, Henry focused on the bigger picture, helping the next generation grow and succeed. His reflections showed not just confidence in his own skills, but also a commitment to developing others in the sport. Moving on to another news. King Green was surprised by the split decision after defeating Lance Gibson last night. Speaking after the fight, Green said he could not believe one judge had it the other way. He explained that over time, you always find out who a person really is, and nights like this show exactly that. He referenced recent setbacks, including the Paddy Pimblett fight, where he slipped into a choke, and another bout where Ruffy stepped in, saying those moments are part of the journey. According to Green, bumps along the road are inevitable, but they do not change who he is or how he fights. Green stressed that losses do not define him at all. None of that noise, he said, ever changes his mindset. For him, this fight was about proving consistency and showing up as the same fighter every time. He also pointed out that Gibson accepted the bout on short notice, but added that 2 other opponents had pulled out before that. No matter who walked onto the stage, Green said he was always going to fight the same way, with the same confidence and the same approach. He laughed off criticism about defense and people telling him to put his hands up. Green made it clear that he comes to put on shows, not to play it safe. His goal every time is to deliver excitement and chase performance bonuses. Throughout the fight, he said he was urging his opponent to engage, trying to turn the contest into a true fight of the night. Simply getting by with a win is never enough for him, because entertainment and heart are what he believes the sport is about. When the judges announced a split decision, Green admitted he was shocked. From his perspective, he felt he worked Gibson throughout the fight and chased him around the cage for most of the rounds. He acknowledged that Gibson scored a takedown, but argued that nothing meaningful came from it. In contrast, Green said when he secured his own takedown, his intention was to do damage and apply pressure. That difference, in his eyes, told the full story of the fight. Even so, he accepted the result for what it was and chose not to dwell on it. Green closed by saying he will keep being himself, keep putting on shows, and let time reveal the truth, because consistency speaks over controversy. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett opened up about a run-in with Arman at UFC Qatar and shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria and the Gaethje fight during an interview with Papa Legospi. Paddy explained that Ilia's return is likely to happen in late spring or summer, as personal matters are taking priority for the Georgian champ. While he wished Ilia well, Paddy made it clear that all he cares about is eventually facing El Matador in the Octagon. That is the fight he wants most, and he is laser-focused on making it happen. He also mentioned that if Ilia isn't back by June or July, there is a chance he might have to vacate the belt, which could shake up the lightweight division even more and open new opportunities. Leading up to his fight with Justin at UFC 324, Paddy is very confident. He has been preparing a perfect game plan for Gaethje, expressing confidence that he can control the fight and doesn't see it going past the 3rd round. Paddy's preparation has been meticulous, and he feels ready to execute every detail of his strategy inside the Octagon. On the rivalry front, Paddy admitted that he now has more respect for Ilia as a fighter. When their rivalry first started, he didn't even know Ilia personally and thought he was just chasing clout. Over time, however, it has become clear that Ilia is a legitimate threat in the cage, and Paddy recognizes his skills and determination. January's fight is the next big step for the division, and fans can expect the lightweight ranks to get even more interesting as these athletes continue to rise. When discussing his encounter with Arman, Paddy said he ran into IO at one point, although he thinks it might have been someone from Ilia's entourage. He also saw Arman getting a group picture and decided to acknowledge him with a gesture. However, Paddy was quick to clarify his opinion of Arman, calling him a tit and an absolute idiot. According to Paddy, Arman talks a big game, but doesn't back it up. He explained that Arman has made his own bed, referencing incidents where he pulled out of a title fight the night before, punched a fan on his walkout, and headbutted someone at the weigh-in. While Arman did defeat Dan Hooker, Paddy pointed out that Dan is skilled but cannot grapple effectively. Paddy emphasized that his focus remains on Ilia, who is the fighter he respects and is aiming to face in the Octagon. Moving on to another news, Ilia Topuria revealed that he does not yet know when he will fight again and is currently focusing on his family. Ilia shared that he is going through personal problems at the moment and has not set an exact date for when everything will be resolved. He expressed hope that as soon as these issues are sorted, he will be ready to step back into the Octagon and give fans a full show. Topuria emphasized that his priority right now is the welfare of his family and his children. He explained that personal matters require his full attention, and until they are addressed, he cannot commit to a fight schedule. Despite this, Ilia reassured fans that his focus on family does not diminish his drive or passion for fighting. He intends to return stronger and more prepared once he can fully concentrate on his career again. He mentioned that as soon as everything is resolved, he will be back in the Octagon with the same intensity and commitment that fans have come to expect. Ilia's message highlighted the balance that athletes often have to maintain between personal life and professional ambitions. He spoke candidly about the challenges of dealing with family issues while managing the demands of being a top-level fighter. Topuria's transparency showed his dedication not only to his sport, but also to the people who matter most to him. By openly sharing his current situation, he reinforced that taking time for family is just as important as preparing for a fight. He assured fans that his absence is temporary and that he will return ready to compete at the highest level. bringing energy, skill, and excitement back to the Octagon. In closing, Ilia Topuria remains committed to both his family and his fighting career. While the exact date of his next fight is uncertain, his message is clear. He will prioritize what matters most now and come back fully prepared to give fans an unforgettable performance when the time is right.